We're live. Welcome to Inside Talk Show. It's a beautiful Wednesday. It's July 14th. We are halfway through the year. Can you believe it? Carla, can you believe it? It's happening. Let's put mute on this puppy. All right. So it is a beautiful Wednesday, hump day, the middle of the week, July 14th. We are on chapter 6, continuing the reading and really going inside, giving ourselves food for thought, something really beautiful to chew on. Okay, my alarm. Yes, I remembered I have Inside Talk Show. Okay, let's make sure this alarm's off. All right, here we go. The Power of Awareness, Neville Goddard. Oh, I didn't go on, we'll skip Instagram Live today. I'll post this later. Attention, chapter 6 from The Power of Awareness. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Attention is forceful in proportion to the narrowness of its focus. That is, when it is obsessed with a single idea or sensation. Attention is forceful in proportion to the narrowness of its focus. That is, when it is obsessed with a single idea or sensation. It is steadied and powerfully focused only by such an adjustment of the mind as permits you to see one thing only, for you steady the attention and increase its power by confirming it. Oh, by confining it. I read that wrong. Let me start again. So our focus, our attention, it is steadied and powerfully focused only by such an adjustment of the mind as permits you to see one thing only. For you steady the attention and increase its power by confining it. Like a flashlight. You know how they have those flashlights where you can adjust the focus, and when you get like a laser beam of light, it's really focused. But then when you open up the aperture of the light, it's kind of broad and spreads out everywhere. It's a little weaker. The desire which realizes itself is always a desire upon which attention is exclusively concentrated, for an idea is endowed with power only in proportion to the degree of attention fixed on it. The desire which realizes itself, anything that really ends up happening, is always something that attention is exclusively concentrated. For an idea is endowed with power only in proportion to the degree of attention fixed on it. Concentrated observation is the attentive attitude directed from some specific end. The attentive attitude involves selection, for when you pay attention, it signifies that you have decided to focus your attention on one object or state rather than on another. That's the only control we have in life. Our mind. And I'm pointing to the head just because that's the best concept we have. Our mind is everywhere. Our brain just kind of is the switching station that everything runs the operation. That's the physicalness of it. That is the matter, the physical matter, the hard fact, the anatomy that we can see. But the mind is unseen. We can't see the mind. The mind is everywhere. It's limitless. It's boundless. It's energy. It's spirit. So the attentive attitude involves selection. For when you pay attention, it signifies that you have decided to focus your attention on one object or state rather than another. Where is your mind? We hear these terms. They've lost their mind. She's lost her mind. Don't let your mind wander. Mind your business. We have that control. Therefore, when you know what you want, you must deliberately focus your attention on the feeling of your wish fulfilled until that feeling fills the mind and crowds all other ideas out of consciousness. The power of attention is the measure of your inner force. The power of attention is the measure of your inner force. That's what it is. Like I said, Inside Talk Show it's an inside job. I have learned in my years of life, after trying to study, go to the seminars, watch the TED Talks, the YouTube videos, talk to people, join groups, take this class, take that. Those are all good and well, but we use it wrong. I thought that that was my salvation. That was the answer. Do I need to be in those places? For me, yes, I do. I need to be in a class. I need to be in coaching. I need to be in study. But the real power is me turning it inside, closing my eyes, closing my ears, shutting off to the outside world, and really working from the inside out, living from the inside out rather than the outside in. So therefore, when you know what you want, you must deliberately focus your attention on the feeling of your wish fulfilled until that feeling fills the mind and crowds all other ideas out of consciousness. The power of attention is the measure of your inner force. Concentrated observation of one thing shuts out other things and causes them to disappear. So the power of attention is the measure of your inner force. Concentrated observation of one thing shuts out other things and causes them to disappear. So concentrated observation, when we're concentrated on one thing, we forget about everything else. Say it's Wednesday morning. It's 11 o'clock on California time, West Coast. You think you know what the day has to hold. You have no idea if you're open to it. You're so focused on what's going on in your life right now, what you can see, what is the matter, what things have manifested already in your life. You can't see any other possibility unless you entertain it. You become aware. Once you entertain it and get emotionally involved with something different, you'll start seeing little buds start growing of evidence for that. But if we're just invested in what's here, what's now, what's already happened, because this really is just the past. You're looking at a past version of me. I was sharing this morning, and I say this all the time. These nails that I grew, my hair, the skin, this is last month's business. You're just seeing the effect of all of the choices I made. Mentally, physically, emotionally, compromise this. The food that I ate, the bananas, the toast, the peanut butter, everything I ate is making this. And all the energy I'm giving was because of the food, energetic food, meaning thoughts, the seeds that I planted last week, last month. So whatever I eat and think and seeds I plant right now today, starting from this moment forward, will be the fruit that I harvest in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, in a month. So yes, I know it's so hard, and I have to remind myself of this all the time. It's that catch-22. We want things to change, but then we're so drawn. It's like a gravitational pull to what already is. And then if that's all we focus on, that's all we're going to get. We're never going to change. We're never going to change. Woof. So concentrated observation on one thing shuts out other things and causes them to disappear. The great secret of success is to focus the attention on the feeling of the wish fulfilled without permitting any distraction. Distraction. How many distractions do we have these days? All progress depends upon an increase of attention. All progress in any area depends on an increase of attention. We have to pay more attention, and that takes work. It's like, I don't want to pay attention. I want to not pay attention. I don't want to look. I do not want to pay attention, because if I pay attention, I am going to have to see what's been going on, and that's not always comfortable. So all progress depends upon an increase of attention. The ideas which impel you to action are those which dominate the consciousness, those which possess the attention. The ideas which impel you to action are those which dominate the consciousness. So you can see this right now. Whatever decisions you make for lunch today, or for dinner, or whatever friend you call, or how much you go on social media today, or the way you think, the decisions you make, the actions, physical actions you take, are a direct result from the dominant thoughts which are in your consciousness, period. And if you're not happy with the actions you're taking or the decisions you're making, just change the dominant thoughts that are in your consciousness. This one thing I do, forgetting those things that are behind. I press forward I press toward the mark. That's a Bible verse. This one thing I do, forgetting those things that are behind, I press toward the mark. Leave the past behind. Any mistakes you made, any bad decisions, any failures. Just harvest the good, forget the rest. Keep pushing forward. This means you. This one thing you can do, forgetting those things that are behind. You can press toward the mark of filling your mind with the feeling of the wish fulfilled. To the unenlightened person, this will seem to be all fantasy, yet all progress comes from those who do not take the accepted view. All progress comes from those who do not take the accepted view. Hello, the suffragette movement. Hello, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Hello, Gandhi. All progress comes from those who do not take the accepted view. Are we just going to accept what's going on? Or are we going to change it? So all progress comes from those who do not take the accepted view, nor accept the world as it is. Look, you can say, well, Carla, this is how it is. Let's get real. Don't be an idiot. Don't be Pollyanna. The world, look, whatever you believe must be true. Whatever you believe must be true. You don't see the world as it is. You see the world as you are. You see the world as you think. And we can all admit to this. Let's be real. When we're having good days, everything's amazing. People are just so nice, coincidentally. And when you're in a bad mood, oh, we better watch out. It's just, come on. We got to get real here. And I'm talking to myself. As was stated heretofore, if you can imagine what you please, and if the forms of your thought are as vivid as the forms of nature, you are by virtue of the power of your imagination, master of your fate. Your imagination is you yourself. Your imagination is you yourself, and the world as your imagination sees it is the real world. We literally create our experience in life, no matter what is going on, no matter what is going on. When you set out to master the movements of attention, which must be done if you would successfully alter the course of observed events, it is then you realize how little control you exercise over your imagination and how much it is dominated by sensory impressions and by drifting on the tides of idle moods. So when you set out to master your attention and your focus and your thoughts, which must be done if you would really be successful to alter the course of events in your life, it's then when you realize how little control that we really do have, that we really do exercise. So when we set out to master our attention, it's only then that we realize, ooh, I have not been doing that at all. It says, when you set out to master the movements of attention, which must be done if you would successfully alter the course of observed events, it is then you realize how little control you exercise over your imagination and how much it is dominated by sensory impressions, what we see, hear, smell, taste, touch, and by drifting on the tides of idle moves. We are just drifting. If we do not have a specific focus, attention, and a goal on what we want, we're just drifting to whatever is around us. To aid in mastering the control of your attention, practice this exercise. Night after night, just before you drift off to sleep, strive to hold your attention on the activities of the day in reverse order. I did this for like a week. Let's be real. I did it for like 3 days, 3 nights. But I got the point. It's difficult. It's not easy. To aid in mastering. Okay, so night after night, just before you drift off to sleep, strive to hold your attention in the activities of the day in reverse order. Focus your attention on the last thing you did, that is getting into bed, and then move it backward to the time Move it backward in time over the events until you reach the first event of the day, getting out of bed. This is no easy exercise. Yeah, I know. But just as specific exercise greatly help in developing specific muscles, this will greatly help in developing the muscle of your attention. Your attention must be developed, controlled, and concentrated in order to change your concept of yourself successfully and thereby change your future. Imagination is able to do anything, but only according to the internal direction of your attention. Imagination is able to do anything. Imagination is like the ship of our life. It can go anywhere. It's perfect. But we have to do the work to set the sails, to make sure we steer. But for me, my experience in life was, well, I'm here. Someone better take care of me. I didn't ask to be born, so you better show up. It's like, it's an entitlement that I felt. I'm a good person. I don't do anything bad, so things are just going to work out. They have to. That's not how it works, unfortunately. I didn't want to get up out of deck. I didn't want to get up out of bed of my ship and start moving the sails around and driving. It's like, but I realized I actually like doing that. It's discipline. It takes work. But most people truly, if life was an ocean and everyone has a ship, people would rather just kick back and sunbathe, eat and drink, and gossip with the boats around them. Just drifting. Yeah, you have a general idea of where you want to go. You hope you get there. You're generally floating and bobbing into that direction, but it's going to take you longer. And you might crash into some crazy, you might just end up so far off track. And that happens to a lot of people. It happened to me for sure in life. I had to get back on track. Imagination is able to do anything, but only according to the internal direction of your attention. If you persist night after night, sooner or later, you will awaken in yourself a center of power and become conscious of the greater self, the real you. Attention is developed by repeated exercise or habit. Through habit, an action becomes easier and so, in course of time, gives rise to a facility or faculty, which can then be put to higher uses. So through habit, an action becomes easier, obviously, and so, in course of time, gives rise to a facility or faculty, which can then be put to higher uses. When you attain control of the internal direction of your attention, you will no longer stand in shallow water, but will launch out into the deep of life. You will walk in the assumption of the wish fulfilled as on a foundation more solid even than earth. When you attain control of the eternal direction of your attention, you will no longer stand in shallow water, but will launch out into the deep of life. You will walk in the assumption of the wish fulfilled as on a foundation more solid, even than earth. That's a good one. Chapter 6, The Power of Awareness, Neville Goddard. Attention. We have got to pay attention. Wake up. Pay attention. It's so easy to fall asleep. Just to fall asleep. It's like if, when you're in a class and you would rather be doing something else, it's like, I just want to fall asleep. That's life. Hello, Mark. Loved your news. Congratulations. We'll talk later. Yes. And that has to do with my announcement today. So anyways, Inside Talk Show, I love doing this. I love creating content. As some of you know, my undergrad was in film production. I love editing. I love talking, obviously. I'm a very kind of outgoing person in that sense. And I truly have studied this for so long, and it has it saved my life. I don't know how to put it any other way, literally. I was living one way, dying slowly. And I know it can seem really sad, but I felt like I was just dying. I was not living the life I wanted to live. And until I really paid attention, focused my attention, and got onto a specific program, right? Studying, And a lot of you may think, well, it's not for me. I don't want to do this. You're already in a program. You really are right now. You truly are. You're already in a program. And people can say when you start, a new diet, a new study program, what Kool-Aid are you drinking? You're drinking that juice. You're doing that new fad diet. What are you doing? You drank the Kool-Aid. It's like, yes, I did. I drank it up. But guess what? Do not be mistaken. Right now, you are fully IV'd up. You are in a drip of the programming of the Kool-Aid of the world. It is straight up IV'd all up in you right now. You are drinking Kool-Aid, but you didn't pick it. That was me for a long time. I ripped them out because it was not working. Okay. And I chose what I wanted to drink. I hooked up to a different IV. And that's one thing people don't understand. Anyway, so the point is, as many of you know, I'm a therapist as well. I'm still doing that. But I am also coaching. I'm a Proctor Gallagher consultant. I teach one of Bob's programs. It is so powerful. The basis is CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. That's really where this all came together for me when I was in grad school studying psychology and my personal development like I always did. It just came together, and the power of it, not only did it change my life, it changes everybody I work with's life, and many people here can attest to it. But just me, I'm my own personal example. And I have stories. And I've shared them on different episodes of Inside Talk Show. Please like and subscribe over there on YouTube and Instagram. But it really is life-changing. So anyways, I'm doing that full-time. I'm teaching the Thinking into Results program full-time. Many of you do know that, but I was just reminded by my good friend Mark today that I really need to say it out loud and offer it, because I really want to work with people that resonate with this, that I love working with. I have fun with it. Personal development and therapy and mental health and all that can be so serious, but I am funny and I'm goofy. And I just love to relate and relay things and teach things in a way that's so much fun, and that's how life should be. There's no other way of living if you are not passionate in studying and changing and growing. If you are not so jaw-droppingly different than you were this time last year, where were you last July 2020? I don't use the pandemic as an excuse. If you are not radically different for the better than you were last July, I urge you to not just contact me, but contact someone, because you're going to be in the same spot in July of 2022. I haven't been here long, 38 years, but I know that. And it's the worst place to be stuck. So anyways, if you're interested in that coaching program, I'm doing it full time for adults and teens. So if you have any family members or teens that would really love this material, please share my information. I am going to tattoo it on my forehead, put it on my car. I'm doing it full blown. So I had like a caseload of 22 therapy clients. I let all of it go. Ethically, of course. But I'm doing this more full time, the coaching. I am doing it full time. Because I'm passionate about it. I do it therapeutically. Of course, I incorporate my, all my studies in mental health into this, which makes it all the more powerful. So anyways, thank you all for watching Inside Talk Show. It's an inside job. I hope you enjoyed that. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you tomorrow.